Hello and welcome to my channel if you are new. So today we are going to be going over some updates on the electoral map based on the polls. You can check out my channel for other videos that I make and consider subscribing and smashing that like button. Okay, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we already have the safe and Republican states filled in. These are states that I think are going to be over 10 points for the candidate that they support. Now let's do the likely states. So the likely states, Nevada, Michigan, and oh wait, actually no, Minnesota. Yeah, let's put that in likely too. Now let's do the likely Republican states. Now these states are like 7 points to 10 points of support for their candidate that they support. Now in this election, there have been some very surprising margins for Donald Trump, which is why I'm putting Montana, Kansas, Missouri, and South Carolina in the likely section. These are normally very solid states for the GOP. Now, let's go into lean Democrat, which will be Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Florida, and North Carolina. Let's check out the polling for these places. So, we'll start with Florida. 3.9%. So far, what we've really seen is that after the debate, of course, Biden got a boost in a number of states, but after that, the race sort of flattened out a bit, and I think that the boost that the debate gave to Biden sort of slowed down, and what I really noticed is that the polls really are going back to where they were, just like a point higher for Biden. So Florida will be 3.9 points, lower than what it was before, 4.5 points, but it will still go into the lean section. Now, Arizona. Let's go to Arizona. Here, Biden is up by 3.8 points in the polls. This is a state that was not really affected by the debate performance, and has stayed pretty stable throughout the whole entire race. But it will be categorized as lean Democrat. Now, let's go to North Carolina. Very surprising polling margin for Joe Biden because he is actually leading in North Carolina. This is a state that Trump needs for his re-election bid, and he really can't do without. So the fact that Biden is leading by so much really does say something, and that will 3.1 points will put him into the lean Democrat column. Now, lean states for the Republicans. There really is only Texas, because as we can see in the polls, Trump isn't doing as well as he should be. For a very solid Republican state, he is actually doing pretty poorly with only 1.4 points of support. Now, this is also a state that wasn't very affected by the debate performance. If anything, there was actually a small boost for Trump. But other than that, it has been a pretty stable race since August. Moving on to tilt states. Now, these tilt states are under 2 points of support for their candidate, and these really are within the margin of error of the polls, so these really could go either way. Let's start with Georgia, which will be a tilt Democrat state. As we can see in the polls here, Trump is leading by 1.3 points. This is so far the biggest lead he has had. Well, he did have 1.7 in July, but so far, this close to the election, this is his largest lead. And this is a pretty concerning sign for Trump as well, because he needs Georgia. But that will put Georgia in the tilt Democrat column. Now, for the next two, we have Ohio and Iowa. Now, Ohio and Iowa are extremely close. Trump and Biden in Ohio have sort of been up and down and sort of giving the other lead at some point. There has been a lot of back and forth. Right now, Trump is 0.2 points ahead of Biden. But again, this is basically like a toss-up. But I will be putting it in the tilt Republican column. Iowa, let's check in the polls, is 0.2 points for Biden. Now, this is definitely a decrease from when he was up a whole point. And this might be due to the fact that Trump had COVID-19, but as you can see, his Biden support has gone down, and this is likely due to the fact that these boosts that he got from the debate and from Trump getting COVID-19 are sort of dipping down a little bit, and Trump is regaining a little bit of ground in pretty Republican states. Let's check out the national polling, because this is really where you can see that the polling hasn't moved much. As we can see on October 10th, there was a little bit of a rise for Biden, but ever since October 12th, actually 11th, for 5 days, relatively no polling shift whatsoever. And this is bad news for Trump, because he really needs something devastating for Biden to really catch up to him, and so far nothing has really done anything to his lead. Yes, there was the story of Hunter Biden's computer, but that hasn't really gained much traction and isn't really reflected in the polls. So definitely puts pressure on Trump to do something big right now. And, well, he's running out of time. And every single day that passes, Trump is getting closer and closer to a loss. And unless something big happens, I really don't know what he can do about it. So yeah, that was my quick short video to show you guys the updated map. Oh, sorry. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, Alaska is likely, and the districts are lean and tilt. Okay. Actually, no. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and like the video. Have a nice day. And I hope to see you soon in the next video.